Hello design thinkers, this is a video introduction to assignment 2, problem of practice design challenge. This is a significant assignment in our course that gives you an opportunity to practice design thinking, to identify a problem and user need, to define that problem, to prototype and ideate different ways of taking it up, test those, and ultimately share that story back. In a nutshell, you're going to develop a design process by doing. Assignment 1 will let you reflect on that process as you go, and assignment 3 is going to introduce new ideas to your thinking through our Twitter chats. But this assignment is a core opportunity for you to practice becoming a design thinker in education, and I'm hoping that it becomes a way of you seeing professional learning and the evolution of your professional practice over time by design. Okay, in this video I want to start with a little bit of an overview of what we're talking about when we're talking about design thinking. We're going to be introduced to a number of models through our readings. This one by Norman, this one by Galileo, this one by IDEO. Essentially, a common theme that this image here helps to articulate is divergent and convergent thinking. For me, design thinking is a disciplined way of thinking through innovation. It provides us with protocols and ways of thinking and working to systematically support innovation. I'm going to help you through the course of this course with these different stages. But important to understand is on this vertical axis of all of these models, whichever one we're looking at here, on the vertical axis is number of ideas or number of possibilities. What we want to do in design thinking is intentionally think divergently at times, where we increase the number of possibilities and then use specific ways of thinking and protocols and tools and mindsets to converge or to reduce the number of ideas to select promising ones. So in each of these models, that's the metaphor that you're seeing: divergent, number of possibilities, then converging down to a problem definition, then testing, taking action is always important to design thinking, before then coming to insights that help us then action that moving forward. As I mentioned, we're going to week to week work through these phases. In your course outline schedule, revised schedule that was provided to you, you will see intermediate deliverables. Intermediate deliverables for me mean they're checkpoints where you're going to have a smaller chunk of a bigger project created. So I just wanted to show you this to have you understand that together we're going to take up protocols and processes each week to help you to explore the problem, to gain insight into user need. Then we'll switch gears and start to converge down to define the problem. You'll submit a design declaration. At that point, then you're going to ideate different ways that you could pursue your problem. You're going to develop a prototype plan and test that prototype in one way or another. Before then, through testing it, understand, draw insights, consider what worked and what didn't work and what you want to do next time. For me, design thinking is not about coming to a concrete solution that's then forever going to be implemented in time. Rather, it's an evolutionary process that then cycles back around, and each time we're coming back to understand our problem better. It's very cyclical in nature, but we're going to take it up with these 4 distinct phases, which will, in order to get you introduced to the process. In our first Zoom session, we're going to go through an entire design process from beginning to end in a 90-minute activity, or 55-minute activity, I should say, within that 90-minute time we have together, so that you can get a better sense of what these stages are. But what I need you to take away for assignment 2 is that we're going to walk through this together. You're not expected to take this up, but rather each of these steps along the process is going to help you there. Okay, so if that's the process underpinning the assignment, what is it that you're being asked to do? Essentially, you're going to have an opportunity to identify a problem of practice that emerged from your practicum 3 that you're thinking forward into practicum 4. You're going to use this process to think through and test some different solutions to that problem, and ultimately document that whole process as a design story. I've done the project myself. Whenever I teach project-based learning, I find it really important to work through a prototype of the assignment so that I better understand what the creative process is, and so that students have an opportunity to see what is expected to them or one way that might be taken up. I've actually created 2 that will be linked for you in our D2L shell, but I'm also showing you here an example of exhibition. So at the end, on February 8th for our final deliverable, you're going to create either an under 2-minute and 20-second Twitter video or a Twitter thread, which I can open up here, that can have a series of tweets. I have a short that can embed video, imagery, and text. The goal here is for you to document all the stages of your design process and tell the story of how you took up a problem, identified a problem of practice, how you then determined what the user need was, how you defined that problem, how you took it into how you ideated on it, what are some of the things you tested, and what you learned from testing it. We will have a synchronous Twitter exhibition where we're all tweeting out our stories. This will be connected to the face-to-face exhibition that will be happening at the Taylor Institute at the University of Calgary. I will have a booth set up for people to engage with your Twitter stories, introduce people to how to use Twitter to get on and comment, and hopefully we can create a little bit of buzz around our hashtag and around these stories, and you can have an artifact that you can exhibit in a portfolio, but more than that, you can have it out to a live audience that we build through the course of our time together in our professional learning network in this term. So again, the final deliverables I've used, and I encourage you, we're going to walk you through helping you use Adobe Spark as a tool to create either an under 2-minute video that tells the design story, and I've created an example of that that's scrolling right now on the screen, or a series of images and text that you can also use Adobe Post for, as this example is right here, Adobe Spark, the tool Post, to create imagery with text and then add on text to that. The idea is this will document the different stages of your design process that we will do together each week through our course. Okay, that's a lot of information. Remember, we're going to take that up together. One question that'll come up in the course outline, it talks about being able to do this project as a group after the design declaration. You're going to have that option. The first stages, if we flip back to Norman's model here, the first stages of empathy, understanding the problem, then defining how you're going to frame that problem, we're all going to do individually. At this stage, if you choose, you can work with a partner to develop prototypes, test the prototypes, and reflect on them. If you choose to do that as a partner, or if you choose to do it individually, you will each tweet to Twitter your design story. You may be a design story you create together if you work as a partner, or you could each create individual ones. For me, I want you to really know that you can make your choice at this stage, whether it makes sense to partner with somebody or not. I would be hesitant for you to, I don't want people to form partners at the beginning, because I want you to honor this process of coming to a problem that really matters to you in your practice, as opposed to picking something that you and your partner both share. We'll look at these problems together all through, and it may emerge that somebody has a very shared problem. You also will need to consider whether it makes sense or not for you time frame wise to be, whether it's an actual affordance to work with somebody else to create the deliverable, or whether it makes more sense to create your own individual deliverable. I'll leave that choice to you to make later in the process. I will, however, build opportunity for us to be collaborative as a class, and for you to have other people's ideas build on your ideas through all stages of our work in D2L. So it's a collaborative effort, whether you choose to work as an individual or as a partner. Okay, another question is going to be about the summative assessment criteria. In the course outline that Dr. Scott, the coordinator of our course, has created, there is some brief ideas about exemplary criteria. I think we need to dig into this criteria ourselves. So as part of our process in weeks 3 or 4, we will be establishing criteria together. But certainly what I want you to recognize is that the focus for us is on process and then documenting the story of how we worked like designers. And my exemplar provides a really good frame of what my expectations are for the assignment, and that we will then together pour some more meaning into that and create a rubric that can be used to guide summative assessment together, potentially in one of our through one of our Zoom sessions, or certainly through a weekly process later in the course. In the meantime, I hope that you can take some time with my exemplar to get an idea of what's expected to you. You can trust that we're going to take this up as a step-by-step process together through the course of the D2L activities every week. And if there's questions about this, as I imagine there will be, we will continue to take them up through the Ask Josh forum or in our face-to-face Zoom session coming up on Thursday. I'm really looking forward to this assignment. I hope you see it as a meaningful way for you to build an emphasis on process of becoming a design thinker as a professional practice over time, and finding a way to make that visible using a tool that I think can make a beautiful deliverable that will have audience, that people will appreciate, but also that is manageable in terms of the amount of time that it's asking you to take up. And again, we will work along the steps of how to use this tool together, what makes a good Adobe Spark video or thread, and how we can work together through critique and revision to get to something that we're all proud of. At the beginning, the focus needs to be on process. How can you trust this and practice this process of design to see what kind of innovative solutions you can develop, but more than that, what kind of innovative process you can develop in order to come to innovative solutions to meet student need throughout your practice in Practicum 4 and beyond. Okay, talk soon.